People are saying that there has been a new leak of the Jimin and JK travel show and what's going on with that. We also have people saying that Jimin admitted a love for a man, and then we have Backlash and what's going on with that. So this is Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us Fangirling on Patreon with some free content on Saturdays now, and let's go. Recently, there was an article that came out talking about Latto and her experience working with JK and the song 7. Of course, from what I read, she only gave a really positive experience, and really there must have only been positive experiences because the song did really well. She got to perform it in certain places, and I think she got a lot of recognition from that song. Also, she was already pretty big, but I think this song also put her on the map in a different way. But she did get a lot of backlash because of something that she did, which is calling K-pop fans part of a cult. Now, to me, of course, this is controversial because no community wants to be called a cult. No one wants to seem like they're part of something bad, and cults typically have a bad connotation to it. And a cult also has the thing where it's like mindless people following a leader, and the leader just says whatever, and then everyone else who's following them just does it. So it almost sounds like the community is brainless. And of course, that's not really likely what she meant. However, this is the connotation that those words have. And I don't believe she means that at all. However, in my personal opinion, I do agree to an extent that the community can act very cult-like. There's this idea that if you like BTS, you're only a true BTS fan if you only like BTS and not other groups. It's not uncommon to see someone say, well, I'm leaving the BTS community because right now I'm really into XYZ group. And this is even if the group and BTS are friends. And this is very odd to me to hear as someone who started out listening to Western music first. It's not like I would be like, oh, I like Taylor Swift, and then I also now have to not be fans with Taylor Swift because I want to be a fan of Ariana Grande. Latto continued to talk about how she felt like the K-pop community was very strong and that she had never experienced anything like this. Like when she posted a picture with JK, it would get triple the amount of likes than when she would post a picture of just herself. And this is 100% true. And this is something that I think a lot of people realize when they work with BTS, is that even just simply their name is going to get a lot of attention and views. And even just the fact that they're doing something with someone is going to grab a lot of media attention. So she acknowledged that, which I think is fair. And I think she also said something which people don't really think about, which is she says she wants to get like that. So she's implying that BTS and JK are very much established. They have a very good community already, and she wants to get there. And this is very normal for anyone who's an artist, right? They want to build a community who loves them as much as the BTS community loves the boys. To me, I don't see a particular reason why this is bad, but if there are people who are saying that this is bad and attacking her for it, I want to say, does that not seem like cult-like behavior? That anyone who gives commentary on what you do has to be crucified and hated. That's cult behavior. Now, since Jimin is back in the spotlight now with his song, people have been bringing up and talking about old videos that have resurfaced. This one video is very fun, as a lot of people have now been re-talking about Jimin, and I think a lot of people who are new to the community kind of want to get to know him, which is why I feel like some of these clips are also resurfacing. And one of the clips talks about Jimin's favorite artist, as he was asked this in an interview, and he actually answered it. He said his favorite artist was Oasis, and this was someone that he really loved. Now, this is a band with a male singer, and it's typically a male band anyway, and so a lot of people were like, oh my god, he likes a man, and it was kind of funny. But jokes aside, this is a great band, and for a lot of people, this was their childhood. They did the song Wonderwall, and I think a lot of people definitely heard it as if you were a part of a choir or you were a part of any sort of singing group, at least around the time that I was in high school, this was the only song that everyone sang, and this was the only song that everyone played on their guitar. Since then, the group has faded away a little bit from the spotlight. I'm sure they're still doing their thing. It's just probably not as prominent as it once was. And that's fine too. It's not abnormal for a group to not have as much prominence in their later life. It's actually kind of nice for them to be able to kind of make music and it be calm and just have your cult-like following. But these are really beautiful things to hear because it's an interesting thing to hear that an artist had the same experience that I did growing up and maybe went through the same emotions I went through and all of that stuff. And when I was listening, and maybe had the same emotions I went through when I was listening to those songs. What's interesting to me is if people from not America and people who don't speak English, if they do translate these lyrics and try to figure out what the meaning is? Or do they just kind of listen to it similarly to how we listen to K-pop? Because if you did translate the lyrics and relate to the lyrics, then he and I were on the same boat, and I just love him that much more. This also explains why I think out of all the members' songs and even their translated lyrics for the ones that are not in English, I relate to Jimin's songs the most because I think he went through the same era as I did. So he answered that Oasis was his favorite band when he was 15, and I definitely wonder what else he was listening to. You would think that an artist that's into K-pop that grew up in Korea would probably listen to only K-pop, but you'd actually be surprised that K-pop is actually not that big in Korea, and it's most likely a Japan and American thing. A lot of people in Korea were listening to American songs such as Beyonce or specific bands that were around at the time. I've been to Korea, and I will say that most of the time, if the radio is playing, it's actually American songs. I remember hearing like Maroon 5 and Beyonce and a bunch of other artists on the radio rather than hearing K-pop songs. They were played like in between American songs, but it was mostly American songs. People get surprised when K-pop artists say that their favorite artists are American artists, and it's because that's what's played on Korean radio. And some of you might actually be aware that Jimin will have his travel show with JK coming out very soon. And there's already a lot of speculation about this, what it's going to be about, and specifically who it's going to be about. Now, there was this photo that came out after Jimin released Who, and people have had speculations about that, which then has led into speculation about the travel show. Now, I don't think that this image was in the music video because I did watch the music video over on Patreon. I did not remember seeing this photo, but it could have been in like a teaser or something. And so this photo came out where you could kind of see like the eyes and the nose bridge of someone and like the hair. So people have been speculating who this image is. There's literally been polls posted online where people are guessing who this is, and the top guesses are JK and V. And most people who are guessing JK are guessing this, then this would be Jimin saying that he has JK's heart. So people are saying that the show that is yet to come out is probably going to be a queer moment where it's going to be a coming out, or Jimin is going to confess his love to JK, or whatever it is. And these speculations are just crazy in my opinion, because to assume that there is going to be a sexual scene or whatever it is based on teasers and based on a photo is kind of crazy, especially since the photo is completely unrelated to the travel show. Also, we're judging that this is probably either V or JK. Could be neither of them. It could literally just be an image that is like of a Korean man that has nothing to do with either V or JK. However, personally, I will say I am very much looking forward to the travel show. I believe it will be a lot of fun. I believe there will be a lot to talk about, and it will be kind of cool to see them kind of hang out and be a bit normal once again, because we haven't seen them on a variety show or them doing anything normal in quite some time. It makes me very sad when I don't get to see them do normal things, and it will kind of feel like they're back from the military once again. And I don't like that the community sometimes spoils this feeling by trying to make it romantic or whatever it is, and there will be opportunities for it to be romantic or for there to be a moment where you can kind of ship them together. But don't ruin this moment for potentially other people who are just looking at it as a fun thing to watch and to wind down from their day with, when all this hype ends up being about the relationship rather than actually people just being excited for the video, for the show to come out. Executives of Disney are going to take this as the opportunity to do what they will, and it will be kind of interesting. And I don't know exactly if it will happen, that's just my guess, but I think when a lot of American people start seeing that this is the marketing point of this show, or they will feel like it is, then that will end up being what the show is, and that will be kind of weird, I think. And the labels are not going to actually let them do any shows like this, so what's going to happen is no more new shows like this will be coming out, because I genuinely fear for V, and I fear for all of them when the show actually comes out, and then people start sending death threats to either member. And that's what's going to happen, is the label is going to see that and say, oh, well, this show was supposed to be a fun show, but it turned into this huge scandal with all this stuff, and then they're just not going to make any more episodes, and that would suck. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for this. Leave a comment right here. Love you. Bye.